alcohol content. We are here again to drink some whiskey. But before we get into the good syrupness, who we drinking with? We got Ryan.
What it do?
What it do? We doing it. We got Rick.
Back in black, baby.
Whoa! And we are big AC/DC fans here. Boys, I see a lot of wheated stuff going on here. So what's the story?
Basically, here's the story: is we are all fans of Buffalo Trace, and we have lots of different Buffalo Trace products.
Too many.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. Not all, and of course, people can get different stuff, how they can get different stuff in different areas and stuff like that. But truthfully, this W.L. Weller wheated full proof at 114 proof is really hard to get. And Ryan, did we win this win the right to pay for it in a lottery?
Correct.
So we got it for MSRP of about $55 or $60 or whatever, because that's what it,
$60.
$60. That's what it goes for. However, if you can't find it, I just went online before, and it's ranging online from $249 to $499. So all we're doing here is we're going to say, hey, we love the Weller, but it's really hard to get. Some people might not ever get it. So what's in a reasonable alternative? Not necessarily tasting the exact same, but what's a reasonable alternative, close to the proof, a wheated bourbon. So that's what we're up to. What we have in our glass, however, to start with is the W.L. Weller.
A little refresher on the palate.
So I'm kind of curious. This is higher in proof.
Yep.
What was the choice in starting with the Weller?
I feel the choice was starting with the Weller, this particular one, because do have some lined out, the other Wellers or whatever lined out against some others. This particular one is because I think I've done a number of blind tastings with people that love this Weller, and I've done 3 of them, and in 3 cases, not by a large margin, the majority blindly preferred the Maker's Mark cask strength. Not by a large margin, like if it was 5 people, it was 3-2 or whatever, but when you're blinded. And so I've had quite a bit of experience doing blinds with this particular one, so I thought that's what we'd lead with. There you go.
Cool. And we don't need to do blinds because, we're just so objective that whatever comes out of my mouth is a fact.
Yeah. I've actually never expressed an opinion on here.
Yeah, no, this is not an opinion
Not
show.
once.
This is CNN, just straight facts, baby. So I'm kind of excited because you guys told me we were doing this right before we started, and I don't know if am I rooting for us to fail at finding an alternative, or am I rooting for us to find an alternative? Because it would be kind of funny to fail at finding an alternative.
Yes.
and that was the thing with this is it's not like we're enough of anti-Buffalo Trace to like put it down when it shouldn't be put down.
Yeah.
If it's better, it's better.
Good juice is good juice.
But at the same time,
that's facts.
In reality, how many people are going to get this bottle ever?
Yeah.
Not very many people. So is there something that is worth it just for the convenience and price instead of
For sure. And we're all about value.
Yeah.
We are. So, again, with Buffalo Trace, I would argue that we all like Buffalo Trace. They have many different products, et cetera, et cetera. They don't disclose a lot. So, again, non-age stated, no mash bill, other than it is a wheated bourbon. So, wheat is going to be the second largest grain in it.
And we've done episodes on both these bottles, so I don't think we need to spend a bunch of time going through them. I'll link the episodes up the top where you can get our in-depth thoughts on both of them.
Yeah.
But just right off the top of the nose, the Weller is a very sweet nose.
Yeah.
Not bad, just sweet.
All of the Wellers are pretty darn sweet. I remember, and trying it again now, I concur with what I thought before. This is one of my favorite of the Weller lineup because of the proof, because they're all that kind of super rich,
creamy,
heavy, creamy sweetness. The proof actually cuts through that in this one in particular. And so I like it better because it feels more balanced.
Yeah.
So this is one of my favorites of the Wellers, for sure.
And it's blue.
And it's blue.
Dark blue. I'll also throw out there the distinction too is it's full proof. at 114 proof, which is different than barrel proof.
Mm-hmm.
Full proof is what the distillate went in the barrel at 114 proof.
They water it back down
to
what
whatever
it started
exactly.
at.
So it was originally 114 proof going into the barrel.
Whereas barrel proof is whatever
what it
they
comes
take
out,
it out
yeah,
at.
whatever it comes out at.
Yeah. I mean, trying it again, I like it. It's good.
Yeah.
It's
Good
obviously
balance.
if you have to be kind of a proof person, because it is higher proof, but it is. I mean, it's a good bourbon.
That sweetness is really there. But again, for me tonight, and again, I'm not trying to crank on it at all, but it's like there's more oak on there, pushing almost a little too much oak for me than I remembered.
Oh, you think?
from
Oh,
before.
really? Interesting.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of oak on there.
Today, I'm actually really enjoying this.
Me too. It's good.
I find this, like you said, it's, you might need to be a bit of a proof hound. Well, I kind of think you might need to be a bit of a proof hound to enjoy Weller. And it needs to be higher proof for me. The sweetness requires a balance, and the burn and the sweetness on this are really mixing well. And Rick, I taste the oak, but for me, it's all it's all swirling down the whole.
It's got a good balance to it for sure.
It definitely has a good balance. It just there's more oak than I recalled on it. That's all for me tonight.
Yeah. So we're trying it against the Maker's Mark Cask Strength.
Yes, Maker's Mark Cask Strength. This one, I think the Maker's Mark Cask Strength, they range between 108 and 114 proof. This one is 100. It's almost 110, 109.8 or whatever.
So you might be able to find the perfect match against this Weller at some point.
I don't. Exactly. And if I wasn't so lazy, I would have gone down to the basement.
You probably found one.
No, believe it or not. So this Maker's Mark you can find cask strength. You can find for about $45.
Yeah.
I may or may not have picked up 3 when a local grocery store I walked in and they had them for like $28.
Whoa!
They didn't know.
They priced
didn't
that
know.
wrong.
Now I've gone in again thinking I'd get lucky, and they're up to $65 or something like that.
Yeah.
But I bought all 3 to gift them or whatever. So you can't.
Gift them. They're not gifted.
Gift them to the storage room.
Yeah.
I have not gifted them yet.
The vault.
But if I wasn't lazy, I would have gone down to see if one of those was higher proof than this, to try and match the 114 a little.
Go
closer.
unlock the vault.
But it's 100. It's 109.7.
Close enough.
You can find these $45.
Yeah. I mean, in general, a cask strength for $45 is absolutely bonkers.
Yeah.
Because I would say typically minimum 60 in general.
Yeah.
And that's on the easy end.
Because
They
if
go
you
up
don't,
easily from there.
you're getting something that hasn't been aged very long, and it's gonna be scary. It's gonna hurt.
So
down.
now on this one, again, so Maker's Mark, there's no age, it's non-age dated, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They do give you the mash bill, however, it's 70%. It's 70% corn, 16% wheat, 14% barley. It's hard to compare because we don't know what Weller's, Buffalo Trace's wheated mash bill is.
So, just going off the nose, it doesn't compare. I'm having a hard time. The Weller right away was sweet.
Yes.
And for this one, it's a little bit more funky.
For sure.
I think the wheat comes through more.
I agree.
Yeah.
So are you saying you like the Weller on the nose better?
I think so.
I would say as of right now, I'm going to go opposite you. I actually like the nose of this
It's a little lighter and
better.
Really?
Because you get a little more of that distinct wheat coming through, and it is a little lighter.
I think I'm
and it's
finding
still sweetness, but it's kind of it's a little more like a more golden sweetness, not that kind of rich, darker sweetness of the Weller. And I mean, maybe it's because we're outside and it's kind of warm out. I like the lighter profile of this on the nose.
On the nose, I'm picking up that Golden Grahams cereal.
Yeah.
Which is sort of
I'm thinking Teddy Grahams.
Okay, there you go. Okay, that works.
Ooh, all right.
But put in a bowl with milk.
But once you taste it, it's different. It is very different. And this is, in my opinion, more wheat forward on the nose and on the tongue. Wow, this is actually such a different experience. This is kind of going to be a tough one. because
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this wheat experience.
Which we did say they're not meant to be the same or like.
But if you want a wheated cask strength,
Yeah.
we might have an option here for you folks.
I like this a lot.
Yeah.
This has a mouthfeel to it as well.
Mm-hmm.
A little creaminess. More than the Weller, which you'd think with the Buffalo Trace product, you'd have that creaminess. But right now, this Maker's Mark is really punching up with that.
Yeah, I don't think it's quite as sweet, but there is sweetness there. I'm maybe it's mentally I'm trying to make my point, but I like it a lot. On the taste, the Maker's Mark has strength. Again, it's different. It's different for sure.
Yeah, I was coming in hoping for this to be like, oh yeah, we found the replacement, right? And it's a tough one because the Weller, I do think this foolproof. Not all the Wellers. We've reviewed the other ones as well. We have our opinions on them. The single barrel, at least that barrel that we had, was great. This foolproof, we like. The other ones, not so much. But when it comes to this versus the Maker's Mark, for me, I'm taking the Weller. And am I going to be able to find it? Most likely not. You guys won it in a lottery. That's why we have it.
Yeah.
We're not going to find it. Will I default to get this Maker's Mark? Hell yeah. This is a great cask strength.
Yeah.
Is it a replacement? Unfortunately, I got to say no.
Yeah. And I totally hear you there. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's fair.
Which is sad to say. Sometimes the champion, Buffalo Trace, you may want them to lose every once in a while because it's so hard to find their stuff. And you're like, man, I just need to find something that can replace it. Every once in a while you might find one, but in this time, I don't think so.
Well, so the way it's funny because we obviously have matched these because of the wheat profile.
Yeah.
But I would almost characterize even the wheated Buffalo Trace stuff
as more bourbon.
The wheat is not their primary characteristic.
Yeah.
And so
yes,
the Maker's Mark is definitely wheat forward.
It seems more true to being wheated.
Absolutely.
But I was thinking like, if I had to choose when I would drink each of these, because I like them both. To me, the Weller is very much like it's a cold winter night, and I'm gonna have this to kind of like sweet, warm me up. This is really nice. Whereas the Maker's Mark, I feel like, is a little more versatile with sort of maybe my mood, but also just sort of the time of the year. Like I could drink this on a summer day, and it's great. But I would say to compare a lot of the Weller stuff, honestly, I think it's what this reminds me of is more of like the Bakers, that Weller.
Okay. Yeah.
The Bakers 107, which is not wheated.
No.
So it's not, mash bill wise super similar, but just profile wise, it's that like dark, rich,
it packs
deep,
a punch.
Yeah, kind of packs a punch. Like that's what I would honestly say as just as close of a profile to how I feel about drinking the Weller. That's how I feel about drinking the Bakers.
Yeah. All right.
I like them both. I like them both. One you can find at a reasonable price. The other one you can't. There you go. They're different. They're wheated, close to the same proof. They drink differently. But there's a reason that blind-wise, 2 out of 3, 4 out of 5 of the 3 different times I've done it, chose Maker's Mark.
I could see why people would choose one or the other. Like, I feel like if you're doing a blind and you tend to go to that sweeter profile, you're going to pick the Weller.
Sure.
But I could easily see how people would go the other way in a blind and take that Maker's Mark. I mean, they're both great bottles, honestly.
I think the wheat I think the wheat might shine in a blind more than anything, just because it stands out from everything else. And so if you're having even Weller with other bourbons and then you bring in a wheated, it has a chance to kind of just throw your palate off and be like, whoa, this is crazy.
Yeah, this is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so ultimately, I mean, none of this surprises me. It's sort of a split decision here, if you will. And again, There you go.
And
There's
also
an option.
the point was not to say what's better than Weller.
Exactly. There's an option.
Yeah,
I would also throw out, now again, we don't have it out here. Could have brought out a number of bottles of it, but the Larceny weeded barrel proof that comes out 3 times a year.
Yeah.
I would take that, at least the more modern renditions of that. I would take that. Now again, it's 126 proof.
Yeah.
It's
Those are
higher
so
proof.
Oh, you're also replacing a hard to get bottle with yet again another hard to get bottle.
Well,
Although
I'm gonna that's why it's not on the table.
Yeah.
So you're absolutely correct, but it's not as hard to get.
Yeah, for sure. You can find
the
them.
Maker's Mark cask strength. Certainly not hard to get.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
everywhere.
Go to your local grocery store. Maybe somebody
For the price,
mismarked them
I mean,
for $28.
Not
Yeah.
even just if you're lacking on Weller. If you just want a solid weeded bourbon,
Yeah.
God, those are good.
Well, folks, here you go.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes the king is a king for a reason. Now, this whole thing is not over yet. We are trying to find replacements. Okay, there's so many Buffalo Trace bottles that are near impossible to get for many, many people in this country. We are not going to stop. We're going to try to find some more replacements. This time, we might have found an alternative, not necessarily a replacement. We found an alternative.
Good point.
Maker's Mark is the cask strength is fantastic. We all love it. Go watch the other episodes to get your full reviews on each of these bottles. But outside of that, you like the episode because, like I said, this train just keeping on rolling. We're gonna Buffalo Trace. We're coming for you.
Choo choo.
Okay, you better watch out. And also, you
The train
subscribe
is coming on
because
the track.
we are, like I said, the train doesn't stop. You buy a ticket and you stay on the train forever. You comment because you're definitely going to stay on the train forever. You're going to let us know what to
Hotel
review
California. You can check
And,
out what you can
and that's it. That's all I have to say.
Thank God.